Hi my angels, it's Hailey Reese and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited that you guys are here and I hope that you're having an absolutely fantastic morning, afternoon, or night, whatever it is for you, when this video finally reaches you. You guys, today's video is a shocking read. I absolutely couldn't believe it when this was sent in to me, and honestly, the moment I read it, I was like, I have to bring this onto my channel and we need to discuss this and talk about it because it's to do with a 14-year-old girl who solved her own kidnapping through her dreams that she was having, which is absolutely insane. And I am so excited to know all of your guys' thoughts, opinions, and theories where this is concerned. But before we get into today's video, I would very quickly like to thank today's video sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. You get to explore new skills, develop existing interests, and just basically get lost in your creativity. Lately, I've had a lot on my plate, so I've been loving the productivity for creatives, build a system that brings out your best. But I have had a wide range of classes that I've taken on Skillshare that have been absolutely amazing. If you're unsure about what's next, creative challenges and productivity classes could be a great way to help you structure your time and just overall set up achievable goals. Whether you're looking to fend off boredom, practice self-care through creativity, or just join a similarly creative community, Skillshare is the place to keep you learning. The first 1,000 people to click the link down in my description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership, and then after that, it's just around $10 a month, so make sure you guys click the link down below. You want to be within the first 1,000, and thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring. But without further ado, let's get into reading this, and then I want to hear all of your guys' thoughts and opinions on this particular experience. So let's get into it. It's called My Dreams Solved My Kidnapping. My name is Alina, or at least that's what I was told and believed for the first 14 years of my life. I almost deleted that last sentence because the more it sat with me, the more I realized that I never actually believed it. Like a part of me knew all along that something was off about my family. I always thought I was just one of those odd ducklings who didn't feel like they belonged anywhere. But later in life, I would learn that that was simply never true. It was that I belonged somewhere else. I'm going to share my story with you because it's almost therapeutic for me to put it all on paper after all these years. Almost like sharing my journey to the truth, I can close that chapter and enjoy my life. I'll take you back to the beginning. My childhood was secluded and simple. I was an only child and grew up on a farm with my mom, dad, and our dog Jiggles. I was homeschooled and most of my days were filled with barn chores and school. I didn't have any cousins, aunts, or uncles, and I never played with any friends. My friends growing up were the barn animals and of course my dog. But I had a lot of things to do on the farm. I had a huge imagination, and ever since I could remember, I always looked at my daydreams and dreams as a world of my own. My mom and dad used to tell me how strange it was that I would have movie-like dreams every single night. As early as I could remember, I would have these dreams playing out like a movie in my head. I'd be on a playground with a different family, playing. And then, every single sequence after, it was like I was just a fly on the wall for this family. Through the seasons, my dreams would take me with that family as they celebrated. I'd watch them unwrap Christmas gifts in my dreams. I'd watch the mom and dad play games with their 2 sons. And I'd wake up wondering how fun it would be to have a family that had other kids, like me. When I would tell my mom and dad that I wanted a brother or a sister, they'd tell me that they couldn't have any more kids and that I was their miracle, their one and only. As I got older, the dreams continued. I used to have a theory that I'd made up a whole other family because I didn't feel anything like mine. My dark hair and dark eyes were nothing like my parents' light hair and light eyes. I looked so much more like the family in my dreams. So I thought that I'd made them up because I wondered what it would be like to feel like I was one with my family. The older I was getting, the more I realized I was actually nothing like my family at all. I was small, with olive skin and dark eyes. My mom and dad were both tall, with skin as white as snow and the lightest of eyes. I worked up the courage to one day ask them if I was adopted, and they were just waiting to tell me. That didn't go well at all. My mom started crying, asking me how I could ever believe that. She tried to tell me that I was just like her and my dad and that they hadn't adopted me. She was so upset by me asking that, I promised I would never ask anything like that again. On my 12th birthday, I asked my mom and dad if I could go to real school. I was lonely and I was tired of only talking to the chickens, cows, and my dog. My dreams of the family were getting stronger. The boys were getting older and they were playing sports. They went to school. The family would go to the beach and go to the park and do things that I wanted so badly. But I was told I wasn't allowed to go to school, that homeschooling was the route for me. The only time I ever felt like through my childhood that I was at the park was when I was dreaming the dream of me being at the park with that family. But every dream after, it was almost like I didn't exist. By 13, I was convinced that I was a prisoner. I'd barely seen anyone outside of the house. I'd never even been to school, and we never ever went to the park. I felt stuck in my own life. Whenever I'd ask why, they'd always tell me the same thing. The world is a scary place. We have you here to protect you. I started to think I was going crazy. I'd watch movies with my family and wonder how it would feel to be normal, to have friends and cousins and teachers and life. I was convinced that I dreamt of this made-up family that looked just like me to make myself feel that I could live a little bit at least somewhere. But one dream would change everything. I had just turned 14 years old and my heart had never been more sad. I wasn't feeling good, so I went to bed early without dinner that night. And once again, the dreams began. The dream started out as normal. I went back to the park and was with the family in it, like I always am. All of a sudden, the dream shifted. I was a fly on the wall. They couldn't see me. That had never happened in this type of dream before. I was always there at the park. Suddenly, the dream changed course. The woman started screaming as loud as I've ever heard anyone scream. She was screaming, "Isabella!" over and over and over again, screaming that her daughter was missing. I'd never seen a daughter. I had had the same dream for 14 years, but I never saw a little girl at the park. Just two boys. I woke up in a sweat and confused as to why my dream had changed. I tossed and I turned for a little and rolled over and went back to sleep. Right away, I was back inside my dreams, except this time it was different. The mom was sitting alone in the living room crying. She had a picture in her hand of a little girl. The little girl looked just like me. She was crying and repeating, "Isabella, please, please come back to me." I woke up from the dream feeling sick to my stomach. There's no way that kid was me. Was I changing the dreams to believe I was part of the family that I was dreaming about? I went downstairs for breakfast and asked my mom if I could see my baby pictures. She paused and got defensive. "Why? I've already shown you before. Eat your breakfast and get to chores." She hadn't though. She'd only shown me pictures of me as a kid, not a baby. For days, I felt like they were lying to me. I waited until the weekend. My mom went out for groceries, as she always did on Sundays, and my dad went outside to tend to the animals. Shaking, I rushed to the home phone and called 911. I had such a big lump in my throat that I almost hung up, but I didn't. I told them that I thought I was in the wrong house with the wrong family, and at first it seemed they thought I was pranking them. I felt like they didn't believe me, but they sent out a car anyways. The rest is history. My name is Isabella. I was stolen from a park by my house in a completely different state when I was just 2 years old. The park from my dreams. My parents weren't my parents. My whole life was a lie, and I had a family out there that never gave up on me. I just got goosebumps. I had a mom, a dad, and 2 brothers who never stopped praying that I'd come home. My mom believes that her prayers put the dreams into my head, and that was the way God brought me back to her. I was her answered prayer. The next few years would be hard, but I finally felt like I belonged, and I felt home. Now I'm a grown woman with 4 kids of my own. I can't imagine how all of this was for my mom. I haven't spoken to my abductors since. People always ask me how I could just abandon people who raised me for 14 years, but when I look back, all I see is what they did to me. They kept me in that house with no outside world for their selfish wants and needs, and took me from a family that only wanted to love me. I've forgiven them in my heart, but my mind won't let me close. That's my story, how my dream saved my life and brought me home. I haven't had a single dream like that since. Even stranger, the Christmas I would join in my dreams was the real Christmas. I was with them, no matter the distance. I'd find that out later when recalling the dream of one Christmas and the gift my brothers got. My brother went to his closet and pulled it out. I'd seen it all. Thank you for reading, and please always trust your gut feelings. You never know when people close to you could be lying to you. And that's the end of the story. I can't even tell you guys how many goosebumps I had while reading this because I started piecing it together the more that I read it, thinking that the only reason she felt present at the park was because it was her last memory of being with her mom, and then after that she was a fly on the wall, seeing everything through her dreams. I am so curious to know what you guys think of this. Do you think it was Isabella's mom's prayers that put the dreams in her head? Because she mentioned that she hasn't had dreams like that since. So please let me know down in the comments below, number one, what you guys thought of this story, but number two, what you think the dreams meant. Why do you think she had those dreams? And what do you think the plan was? Like, eventually Isabella was gonna grow up. Were they gonna keep her in that farmhouse forever? Like, I'm so confused, and I would love to know all of your guys' thoughts, opinions, and theories. And that is it for today's video. Once again, I would just love to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. As I mentioned before, the first 1,000 of you to click the link down in my description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. So make sure you guys click that link down below, and thank you so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring. If you guys are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed, but you do enjoy my videos, I would seriously love it if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button, turn on that little bell, and also while you're at it, if you'd like to, please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness, and until next time, I love you.